Today we are exploring the most popular road trip loop in Iceland, the Golden Circle. So this is the day 13 of our ring road adventure, and it's actually the last thing we'll explore before heading back to Reykjavik. But a lot of people often start with this, and sometimes it's the only thing they see. We'll take you on all the most popular things to see in the Golden Circle, but stick around to find out what we really thought of this place. So one tip we read was to actually sleep in the Golden Circle and start at the very end. So this way it actually beats out all of the tour buses and you're not going parallel to their itinerary. And this actually was very useful as long as you start early.
We are on our last day, second to last day in Iceland. We're driving to Brúarfoss now from our hotel. It's cloudy and it rained as expected, but look at how beautiful the sun is trying to break through at those two mountaintops. Amazing. Okay, we're entering Bruarfoss. It's 3 kilometers from the ring road, and it's a gravel road. Luckily we got our car exchanged for the second time. We are gonna go walk it, which is about 15 minutes, and you have to pay about probably, I think it's 750 krona, I don't know, $6 is what Google reviews said, so it's probably one of those two. Okay, we'll see when we get there. Okay, today's October 17th. It's about 9 a.m. We're at Brúarfoss. There's nobody here, so we read online that, you know, to stay at this area, we stayed at Laugarvatn, and there was no people. They said to do the Golden Circle from the Geysir or Gullfoss to Geysir to Brúarfoss, because that's the opposite of how this is the price. That's the opposite of how the tour buses do it. So this is the start of the trail.
So Bruarfoss is actually an electric blue waterfall in Iceland, and most of the hike is really easy, and you get to the point of the waterfall within 5 minutes from the parking lot. So I'd say this is a really great hike for all ages, and it's very accessible.
Look at that, some nice views of the mountains from the coast. 5 peaks, look at that, wow.
We're alone in a tourist attraction in the Golden Circle. It's amazing.
Yeah. But yeah, start your day early. Just says caution, probably don't go out of the way of the...
It's through a beautiful river, but it's also very dangerous. And has killed claimed lives.
Oh, it says that?
Yeah.
Okay. It's actually really fast, 5 minutes. There's a viewing point over there too. If you... Yeah. This is it. Yeah, this is it.
So if you're only doing the Golden Circle, this is an absolute must. I would say don't miss it even if you're doing all of the ring road, because it's an iconic waterfall in Iceland. But I do have to say, we think that there are a lot more beautiful waterfalls in Iceland itself.
It's like Gatorade. Okay, so we crossed the bridge. Here's the view from the other side of the bridge. And then Hector's already leaving. Oh, Hector's off exploring on his own now.
So actually after that viewpoint we just saw, you can actually trek a little bit further to get closer down to the river. So we decided to turn back after seeing a little bit of the terrain. Since it was raining, it actually was quite muddy. So I think you can get really close to the river from here, but I just want to caution to be careful, because we did read in recent months that somebody actually fell into the river and passed away. So if you are doing this, just to be extra cautious wherever you are going. Once we decided to turn around, we took a few more pictures at the bridge from different vantage points, and I think we were here less than about 15 minutes before the crowds came.
So here's the viewpoint from the left side. So the right side, you would just see, it would be over there. We didn't go because it was really muddy from the rain. And then you just go off it's just a few steps from the main track right there.
The best tip I can give you guys is make sure to get here before 9 a.m. to avoid the crowds. This spot has become increasingly popular, but we had it almost all to ourselves. By the time we were leaving, we saw a lot more people coming by, and so I definitely try to get here before 9 a.m. It takes less than 10 minutes each way, and I think with pictures and exploring, I think you'll do this in under an hour. But definitely spend more time if you want to explore the area further, and I'm sure that's endless. So our best photo recommendation for this place is definitely on the bridge, and make sure to take it from both the left side and the right side. The right side is probably going to actually give you a better view of the bridge itself, and I think that's the side that actually has the sign with it as well. So this is going to be the one a little bit further from the parking lot. Hi, baby. And then next we were on our way to the Geysir. And before that, we actually saw some horses on the road. So around this time of year, the horses are not as common to be just seen roaming around because of how cold it has gotten. But if you're lucky, you can spot some in the Golden Circle. And make sure to just approach with caution and don't trespass on anybody's property. Okay, so we got to the Geysir parking. This is what it looks like. It's a little center. There's a restaurant, gift stores, and restrooms, which we'll have to use after. So parking here is actually free, and once you do park, you're gonna wanna cross the street. So this area is paved, so it is pretty good for all ages, and you're gonna wanna look for the main attraction, which is Strokkur. So this erupts every 5 to 10 minutes and sometimes shoots over 20 meters high. So what we didn't know, and we only stayed for one eruption, is that sometimes the second or third one is even bigger than the last. So if you have time in the day to stay here for about an hour, make sure to stay here and watch at least a few eruptions go by. So here you have a sign for the Geysir main entrance. Oh, crampons recommended, huh? Okay. I feel like these signs are like closed, crampons recommended, but they just leave them there for liability maybe.
Yeah.
So we gotta stay for that. Wow, 80 to 100 degrees Celsius. Wow. Look at that, cool. Do not walk or touch. Wow, inviting.
It's like blooming.
Yeah.
You see it?
You see it? Wow. Yeah. Cool. Oh. Oh, whoa, look at this guy. Oh, this guy's actually bubbling. He's bubbling. This guy is named
I guess they're all named in Icelandic.
Vigdísarvír.
I think they floated.
Did? Oh, it must have been that thing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, look at that. Fresh steam. Now we gotta wait another 5 to 10 minutes.
Look at that boy.
Oh, this guy's big. If you are looking to explore this area, plan for 30 to 60 minutes. If you're doing a quick visit, I would just make sure to go to the Strokkur Geysir eruption that happens every 5 to 10 minutes. And if you have a little bit more time, make sure to do the full loop past the Litli. Okay, we couldn't record on the pocket from this, but Hector got a video, but now we're at the Litli Geysir. Look at that guy.
Geysir. Litli Geysir.
We're at the Litli Geysir. So now we're walking back. We're just doing a short loop for time. And then now we're gonna go to Gullfoss. And before that, we're gonna use the restroom because I need to pee.
Alright. Stay with us. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned when I take you to the bathroom.
I'll show you the other geyser.
We didn't see the... I think it's a little bit further, but there's like a stack of like hot stones that I saw somebody on YouTube touching.
Hot stones?
Yeah.
Why would I touch hot stones?
I don't know, but some old dude was touching him.
No geezer was touching hot stones.
So sorry, you didn't get to see that. The hot rocks. Well, that's it.
I'm kind of hungry.
Me too. And then after your walk around here, make sure to visit the visitor center, which has a restaurant, bathrooms, if you needed and wanted to check any of that out. The souvenirs there were quite expensive, and I would say it's probably the most expensive that we saw on our whole trip. So kind of just keep this in mind if you are shopping in their souvenir shop.
Okay, we're here at the Gullfoss parking lot. We're starting our hike. It's cold. I changed it into more proper rain gear. And now the rain stops.
Now we're just cold.
Geysers. Wow, it's very cold. Oh, see, wow, pickpocketers. Wow, they even have a sign now for pickpocketers. Pickpocket.
So it was a quick 10-minute drive from the geysers to Gullfoss, and I would plan for about 45 minutes to an hour here. This will give you sufficient time to see the different viewpoints, which there are about 3 or 4 of them. And then there's an upper viewpoint and a lower viewpoint. So it is quite crowded here, and it is pretty built up. So you can have like a lot of shopping and some small stores, which you didn't really explore. But even though it is pretty crowded, it is really big. So you don't run into too many crowds blocking your view or anything like that. But keep in mind, you will run into a lot of people here.
It's very cold. We're leaving now. We're gonna go, let's see, which route? Let's see. So that was beautiful.
It's been a long time since I felt this cold.
The other thing to keep in mind is in this area, I know it's really hard to because a lot of people are driving the ring road, but if you can make sure your belongings are not out in the open in your car, I would recommend that just for peace of mind. So just some tips. What we encountered was, I think one of the viewpoints was actually closed. So the lower path is often closed in the winter due to ice. So another recommendation is make sure to bring a rain jacket or a poncho. Actually, this place was the strongest winds we had encountered in the Golden Circle. So it was much colder than anywhere else that we had experienced that day.
There's that first viewing point down there. This is the second. Wow. So in the summer, you'll be able to walk.
So as you can see, Gullfoss is one of Iceland's most powerful waterfalls.
Here's the trail to the third viewpoint. Okay. See, oh my gosh, look at these silver dying flowers.
So the hike, or the walk rather, for Gullfoss is less than a mile or 1.5 kilometers long. So it'll take you about 30 to 45 minutes at a relaxed pace, and all of it is paved. So don't worry about it being hard or anything like that. Though some spots, especially if it was raining like for us, it can get a little slippery, so just make sure to wear sturdy shoes. And then after that, we went to one of Hector's favorite spots that he still talks about, which is the Friedheimer Greenhouse Restaurants.
Okay, so Friedheimer, we're literally here right when it opened, 5 minutes, and it is packed. So we're gonna try to get a seat at the bar because we don't have reservations, obviously. And here we are going to the Friedheimer restaurant.
So this place books out weeks or months in advance. So we unfortunately weren't able to get a sit-down reservation in time. I think we were a little bit, maybe a week too late, but you are able to head to the bar and wait for a seat if you're lucky enough. So we got to do this, and this place is famous for their tomato soup and fresh bread.
It's actually running.
They have different things of tomato-based flavors. So they have beer, tomato-based lattes, kind of quirky things like that, which we tried a bunch of. So when you're sitting at the bar, you're not able to get the full experience and order all of their food. So definitely a recommendation. And I think we actually read recently that a couple was able to actually sit down even though they didn't have reservations. So maybe you'll get even luckier and they'll have an open table for you. This place is really popular with tour groups though, so make sure you account for that when you are headed there and allocate time to wait. So if you are packed on your schedule, I would say you may not be able to sit down even at the bar. So we're lucky enough to wait maybe about 10-15 minutes before someone left and we were able to squeeze in a bar table. Wine bar. So this is the tomato menu. You can get tomato soup, cheesecake, ice cream, tomato beer. Look at that, basil. Okay, so Hector loves his soup. Okay, we got 2 of them. We got a tomato beer. We have an espresso tonic tomato, and then we have a Bloody Mary. We're gonna take the Bloody Mary, and you can spice it up at this station, which has Tabasco, different kind of peppers, and we'll see what we do. So the Freidheimer Tomato Restaurant was about 30 minutes from Gullfoss, and it's another 50 minutes to our next destination, which is Thingvellir National Park.
Some sort of plant, yeah. It's maybe a hydroelectric plant.
Okay, this is our last stop of the trip. Before Reykjavik.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna start our hike. To the right, it's gonna be the waterfall, the Oxarfoss. Okay, so it's just a flat walk. So this is the view. Right here it is. This is some parking instructions. This could be as long or as little as you want. So
Yeah, the waterfall's right here.
yeah. What? Okay, we have to pay for parking. How much is parking? 1,000 krona.
Costs and gas. Between gas and parking, you can go over the country.
So the national park is actually really cool because you can do a number of different things fit for all ages. So the most popular one is to actually snorkel in between the tectonic plates between the Eurasian and North American tectonic plates. So we didn't do this. We decided at the end of our trip it would be too grueling and we wanted to just kind of take it easy and relax for the last day. So this is something that we've read is pretty cool. It's one of the clearest waters snorkeling you can do, and I think it runs about $150 to $200 per person. So if you aren't snorkeling, what we decided to do at the national park was visit one of the famous waterfalls as well as walk in between the tectonic plates, the 2 continental tectonic plates. So this place is really vast and it's very flat. So it's very different than a lot of the other places in Iceland that we explored. So I would spend about maybe 2 hours here just walking around the area.
If this would be the only thing I would see in Iceland, that would
You'd be pretty cool.
I was about to say anything else.
Oh, really?
Like the Golden Circle stuff?
Oh, that's true.
I don't know.
But I mean,
think the
in
coolest
comparison,
parts are in the middle or something.
I think in comparison to like what would you see in other countries, would you feel like, no? Like, would you feel like, oh, it's such a cool experience? No?
I don't know. That's pretty beautiful.
It's really cool because it's like right next to the rocks.
Yeah.
It's like a high school or something.
Okay, now we're going again to the rest of the Amanagaja trail. Okay, so now we're done with the Brúarfoss station, and we're gonna walk the rest of the Amanagaja trail, and that involves seeing the tectonic plates. Okay, now we're at the other end of the Amanagaja trail. So this is just the view of Thingvellir.
Look at this. Enormous.
Yeah, oh wow, map.
Even in the remote place of the earth.
People can't not
Papers.
throw away their stuff. Wow. Okay, well somewhere out there is still for snorkeling.
Yeah.
This direction. So this is the walkway. And then here's the view of Thingvellir.
Oh, there's a rainbow.
Where?
Over there.
Wow! Can you take a picture of it?
This one.
What is it? Thingvellir National Park.
Here.
This is cute. Gotta walk through the tectonic plates. And we're gonna head back to Reykjavik.
If we were being honest, I think that this place is a good place to start dipping your toes in Iceland, but I think ending the trip compared to everything that we had seen so far on the Ring Road and in Iceland, it was a little lackluster. So not to say that this isn't something that's really cool and compared to even a lot of places that you'll see anywhere else in the world, but I think compared to everything Iceland has, there's so much more out there. So if you're choosing between how to spend your time, I would say branch out of the Golden Circle.
This is the middle, the bottom. Okay, so this is the loop. We're gonna go. This is where they used to have parliament and have 2-week discussions. And they built little settlements here, temporary settlements, where they would discuss things. They would they would discuss discussions.
Alright, let's go.
Here. So now we're gonna have to loop back here and then make the loop over there. And we're gonna try to make haste as it started to rain again. There's a rainbow right there. Wow. It's just so gorgeous. Look at that. This is the other side of Thingvellir National Park. There's a little church. Cool.
One really cool thing about it being rainy that day was we weren't able to see a lot of rainbows in Iceland. I think we saw it once on the Snæfellsnes Peninsula, and then we saw about 2 or 3 in Thingvellir National Park.
Okay guys, we're on our last leg of our little walk at Thingvellir National Park. You can see the sun trying to peek through, and there's a little rainbow.
I would say to plan about at least an hour for this place because there is kind of a lot of walking, even though it's all paved and pretty easy, but you can spend up to 3 to 4 hours depending on how much you wanted to explore. So this area, unlike much of the rest of Iceland, it's very flat and it's very vast. So you kind of just see endless plains and not too many mountains or big waterfalls or anything like that.
This is the last of it. We have about an hour drive to Reykjavik. So probably a little bit more than an hour.
So I do think Golden Circle is a must. It's one of the most visited places in Iceland, but I think that's for the vicinity of how close it is to Reykjavik. If you're renting a car and you do have the freedom, I would suggest that you go up to Snæfellsnes and spend an extra day or two there, or even make it a little bit past to the south of Vik, and the waterfalls in that region are much more beautiful.
To the outskirts of Reykjavik. Okay, so we're in Reykjavik. We are about to go to the hotel, and here's one of the historic things of Reykjavik. It looks like a Viking ship, but made of metal. Super cool. And in the distance there, you can actually see the orchestra hall.
We have one last day in Iceland where we're exploring Reykjavik, so make sure to subscribe to see that video. If you haven't checked out our other previous Ring Road videos where we explore Iceland in depth for 14 days, make sure to check that out, and it's linked below. If you liked this video, make sure to like and give me a subscribe. Take care.
I think we should go to the bonus before we leave and get snacks.
You think so?
Yeah.
I would like to get some more crown.